Hello, good evening, and a very warm welcome to Rangers Radio.
Well, hello, good evening and welcome. Welcome to Rangers Radio. John myself here on the show this evening is Albert and Robert. Evening, boys.
Evening, troops, how are you doing?
Evening, mate. Evening, Albert. Hope you're well.
I am good, Albert. How's your good self, mate?
I'm smashing.
Smashing.
Aye, ticky to boo, mate, right on top of the world, as it were.
Looking down on creation.
Well, there's a song in there somewhere, I'm sure there is.
How's Robert?
I'm going to start. Oh, sorry.
Oh, sorry. Carry on. What are you going to say there?
I was just going to break into song, but I'll stop, you know what I mean, because I'm not very good at the singing.
I've heard you, mate. I sat next to you. Oh.
Aye. Oh, it's no good. It's no good.
No, it wasn't good, mate. But you tried. You're a willing participant, mate, yeah?
I'm a better dancer and singer. There you go.
I've also seen that. I don't know. I think your singing might be better than your dancing.
Oh, the two of them are hopeless, but I've got to pick one as my best. So I'll pick the dancing.
Oh, dear. How's Robert?
Aye, I'm alright, mate. I'm alright. I'm not going to have any songs right enough. I can't sing to save myself, so I'll not give you the lyric.
I didn't bother, mate. Didn't bother. That was
For
just
the dancing. You good at the dancing, Robert?
No, mate. 2 left feet.
Oh, come on.
Nah.
It must be funny. It must be great fun at a party, you.
If I remember right, Mrs. Albert was very impressed with Oxy's moves.
Oh, aye. She's she critiques the dance and she likes a wee burl now and again.
Yes. Anyway, enough of that, mate. We digress. Right, I've got a question for you two gentlemen, yeah?
Fire away.
Go for it.
Right. How will we manage to still be, if we go on a run of games, wins, to be in the position we're in, where we know how horrendous it's been? Albert.
It's quite simple. Scottish football stinking, that's it. We're making a meal of this. We should be walking away with this league, mate. But we're not. Because Scottish football stinking. They're crap. They've been crap for years. They're under the impression they've been a good team for years. They've not. They're absolutely crap. This season it's just coming home to roost on them. And then you've got Hearts. They get a couple of players in, and all of a sudden they're Real Madrid. So that's the reason we're still in the league, because out the 3 teams, I don't think out the 3 teams you could actually pick a really good team out the 3 squads. To be honest with you, mate. But that's why. This is the way leagues should be before anybody says anything else, because it should be competitive. It should be nobody wins the league before Christmas and all this nonsense, which has been happening for years now. A league should be competitive. It should be all edge of the seat, and every game matters, and you need to win the games, and you don't always win the game. That's what it's all about. That's football. It's a competitive football, and that's what's been lacking in Scotland for the last 13 years, bar one.
Robert.
That's kind of what Albert says, mate. It just shows you the standard of Scottish football. I mean, given how terrible our start was, where we were when Danny Rule came in, and to be in 3rd position, or 4th position with a few points in between, it's kind of remarkable. But it speaks volumes for the rest of the teams round about us, if I'm being honest. They did well. They had a bit of a wobble. They've picked themselves up at the weekend. They're getting a good result for themselves. But if you look at it, mate, it just shows you about the actual overall standard of the league, as Albert says. We can be poor for a number of games, but then you start picking up points and you start to see that gaps can be closed fairly quickly. They can also be increased fairly quickly. Let's not kid ourselves on, but it just sums up the league and the rest of the teams that are kind of under us and where they should be under us. And at this point in time, there's too many above us still, but we'll work towards closing the gaps each week.
And how much is Danny Rule affected that, in your opinion, Albert?
Quite a bit. I mean, really, honestly, quite a bit. Because all he's doing is simple things, but he's not doing anything that's magical and going, that's clever and all that. It's just doing simple things.
Is that no
don't mess
football,
up.
mate? Is that no football?
That's it, mate. It's not a hard game. No hard game. But we seem to get this idea of a manager in Martin who seems to want to reinvent. In fact, I think he would have reinvented the shape of the ball to get away with it. No, I mean, he's a nutcase, just a complete and utter nutcase, thinking you can get away with what he was trying to do. I don't even know. I still don't know what he was trying to do. But there you go. But if you keep it simple and roll, that's what he's doing. He's not doing anything that remarkably brilliant. He's just keeping it simple and saying to them, looking at their ability and just telling them to play to their strengths rather than their weaknesses, or doing something that they're just not capable of doing. There's no point. If they can't do it, they can't do it. All of the great intentions in the world's not going to make them do it. It's simple as that, mate. You've either got the ability or you've not. And it's all standards, isn't it? It's different levels. Even in professional level, when you're playing in a team, it's all different levels, mate. Some players can do this, that, the next thing. Other players can't. But there's no, as I say, all he's done is went, look, simple. You headed the ball out. Don't try and bring the ball to it and play fancy passes. Just you headed the ball out or you kick it clear. A forward, run forward. They say to the midfielders, go forward. You're not going forward enough. You're going back all the time, so go forward. That's all they're doing, mate. Nothing drastic. I mean, you watch the game against Kilmarnock. That's all they were doing. They were actually going forward for a change. And more than half a dozen of them turned up to their work. And then, what happened? You beat them, no bother. Absolutely no bother whatsoever.
Mm-hmm. Your opinion, Robert, on the Danny Rowe effect in this?
I think it's just they've made the game, or he's made the game simple to understand. I think it was evident that Russell Martin was trying to overcomplicate things, give too much instruction. It's been stripped back to just basics. And although there's still a lot of issues and problems to resolve, and that will be done over time with personnel and time itself, but as Albert said, he's not done anything too different. If you look at a game now and a game then, there's not an evident big massive change in terms of the approaches to games, the setup, the personnel. But I think he's just installed a bit of a belief in a way. He's connected with the fans, which was obviously an important thing as well. But from the players, they've showed in glimpses, collectively and as individuals, they've improved. Okay, it's not massive improvements, but ultimately, he's turned games to wins when we were getting draws, not scoring enough, not creating enough. And although you look at certain games, especially Falkirk game at Ibrox, didn't create a lot, very lethargic, disinterested. But then you go to Dundee United, you create loads of chances, should win the game comfortably, and then you go and follow up with a 3-0 victory at Kilmarnock. Whereas you said last night, there's been better teams for Rangers over years that haven't got points there, they've struggled. So it's not big changes, but I think it's just ultimately the main thing he's done is change games into wins and results. And 5 wins out of 7 in the league. It's not the best of starts, but it's not a shocking start. It's pretty good. And there's a few clean sheets in that as well.
Mm-hmm. I don't know what he's done tactically. I don't see a dramatic change in playing style. I think we get the ball quicker more often, which helps the centre halves and the goalkeeper probably go as often near where in goal. But apart from that, I don't see any dramatic change in tactics. What I will pick up on Albert, that I think it looks, in my opinion, quite quickly that Russell Martin had lost the dressing room. I think that becomes even more and more apparent. And I think he might have lost it as early as July, if I'm honest.
I think it's true. I think he might have even lost it after the Motherwell game, the very first game of the season. I think that's when he lost it, when he threw everybody under the bus. I think he was telling the truth, by the way, what he was saying. He was only trying to explain something, but they took it to heart. Players nowadays, you can't say anything but praise them. Even when they're not playing well, you've got to praise them. They can't handle criticism in any shape, form, or size. So I think that's when he lost it. I definitely do, because that's when it was just, well, never actually took off to fall apart, mate. It just fell apart to that game. It was a 1-0. It was 1-0 right up to the last couple of minutes when they scored late on, because players weren't tracking their man again. And that's what he was trying to say. Players holding onto the ball too long. What he was saying after that game was actually true. But again, it's that was the end of that. That was just basically the season fell apart right there and then. We didn't know that at the time, but it developed into that, and you can see players weren't trying. They just weren't trying.
Your opinion, Robert?
I think it's a strong argument to say that he'd lost the dressing room. You could try and pinpoint exactly where that may have occurred. The question you maybe ask yourself is, did he even have the dressing room on board to start with, even before a ball was kicked, in terms of from a training side? Because you can go back to the pre-season game, particularly against Bruges. Although it's pre-season, you don't read a lot into it. There's a lot of head scratching, watching the game, watching the setup, how kind of slow and passive it was. So you've got an argument to say, did he ever have the dressing room on board? But I'm not saying that Danny Röhl's a better manager or a better coach. I think the results will show you that he can get something from these players. But at the end of the day, it's ultimately still down to the players to go and do their jobs, their instructions, and get us points on the board. But as we said, mate, in the show, from the get-go, it wasn't a good fit, and possibly the players had that same mindset, and it's very difficult to get out of that.
Football dressing rooms, I suppose it's a bit like offices and works, isn't it? There's politics and there's people work well together and people don't, and you try to manage it. It's a carrot and a stick, and what works for some doesn't work for others, all bear. And and once it turns, it's difficult to get it back. But we're speculating a lot and giving our opinion. So, but Danny Rose, so far, there's these results are okay. Performances have been up and down. There's been some decent. Bizarrely, I think arguably our best domestic performance was our best domestic result was last Wednesday night, albeit mad as it seems.
Well, you can put in the last three results, basically. The Falkirk game was disgraceful, absolutely disgraceful. And I think you let them know. It was just no acceptable. We were sitting there bored out your tree, never looked what's going. In fact, can they still playing the day and no look what's going on in that game? Then you get to the Dundee game. We still went to Dundee United. We still win that game's hand down. How we were battling for a draw in the end, that was amazing. But we should have scooshed them. Absolutely no bother, mate. And then you get to the what do you call it, the Kilmarnock game. And the big difference with the Kilmarnock is the goals are starting to fly in. You're sitting going, makes some difference. It really does make some difference. And we defended a bit better. Apart from corner kicks, we sort of let them get a lot of chances with corner kicks. We can't seem to clear a ball for a corner kick. That's mental. But anyway, we'll get to all that. It's so they 3 games in isolation tells you the story we roll because it's after you've seen what you've seen with the Falkirk game. That's the sort of standard of performance we've been watching all season. It's been dreadful. But it hit an all-time low in that game because I don't think there was a Rangers supporter that expected us to score in that game. It was that bad. So I think he read the riot act after that game with the players. It was all in-house, of course, but he definitely wasn't happy with that one, as we weren't. And there was a huge difference in the Dundee United game, a huge difference. Barami started to come into the party again. You're like, oh, what a difference that man makes when he actually plays. So you're looking at him and saying, where have you been? And you look at the rest of them. Diamondi, Egon, Arns, Asgard, all the rest of them. Where have he been? What's holding his back? So let's play to this standard for the beginning. We'd be sitting in a different position if they all turned up to their work for the beginning of the season and kept the standard up to a decent standard rather than the rubbish we were actually watching.
Robert?
I mean, as you said, domestically, probably the best game was that Dundee United game in terms of chance creation, and it's something we've highlighted quite a bit this season. but you couldn't argue at all that we didn't create enough, because you created enough chances to win 2 or 3 games of football. The difference with the Kilmarnock game was, although we didn't create as much as what we did against Dundee United, when the chances came, we took them. We were a bit more clinical. We could have still scored a bit more. Obviously, one incorrectly ruled out, in my opinion. So it could have been at least, or should have been at least minimum of 4-0. But we still created chances, but we were clinical than what we have been over previous weeks. But the Falkirk game was a real frustration, especially because it's at home. But you look at the game before that against Livingston, that wasn't all the chances either.
No.
It was very slow and lethargic as well. So it had kind of been bubbling, that kind of performance. It was evident against Falkirk, but then they responded well, let's be honest. It's just a frustration that they 4 points dropped. As you look at it just now, we could only be 2 points behind them.
It's mental, isn't it? Absolutely mental. And frustrating at the same time. Bit like married life, Albert.
True. I'm not going to say it about married life, I'm in enough trouble. But
Oh, yeah.
It's true, but if it's all if buts and maybes. But it shows you how important these games, these so-called easier games are. You need to get that. You need to get your head right, and you need to get the attitude right, and win these games. And there you are, a bit of pressure on. We win the Kilmarnock game, put a bit of pressure on. We're the first to play. They're playing. The two of them are playing the following day. We've already got the points now. Now we're sitting back and going, now we know we're going to close the gap, at least one of yous. At least one of yous. Hopefully it'll be 2 years. It's a draw and we claim points back in the 2 years. So we're sitting back in the easy street waiting for that result, waiting for that game to finish. And look what happened. A wee bit of pressure. All of a sudden things start falling apart. That's football for you, mate, isn't it? That's just the way football works. Unfortunately, over the last few seasons, we don't seem to get ourselves into that position very often.
Right, okay. We better get these phone lines open, yes.
Yep.
Look, what I'm gonna get the boys' views quickly on the game at the weekend, because we've not heard through them since Saturday, and then we're going to look at some news that's broke today on social media about the fan advisory board, and asking you, our listeners and supporters, what's important for you at Ibrox. We all better answered right away, centre forward, you know what I mean? So I get that. But maybe talking about as supporters, facilities, if that makes sense, Albert, yes?
Yeah.
All right. But you like they've sort of put some stuff out that's been suggested. It's difficult to argue with any of them, if I'm honest, but we'll ask it and talk about it, and hopefully people can see what's important to them. Yeah, I get the answer. I'm winning team in a part. I'll understand that. We'll not accept that answer tonight, because we're talking about to improve the supporters' experience, maybe off the park rather than what they're watching. Of course, I would rather have a crap burger than a winning team than a good burger and a real appalling team. Robert,
Oh, every day of the week, mate. Every day of the week.
We seem to have got the both at the moment. Fallen burger and a fallen team.
Oh dear. He's got a point. He's got a point.
It's hard to argue present, although I've not had a burger for a while, so I've been having a pie. I'm ready to try a burger again.
Aye, well, I don't think the pies are much better. Glasgow, west of Scotland. The centre of the universe for Scottish pies. We can't get a decent pie at Ibrox. I mean, we're quite partial with a decent steak pie in the west of Scotland also. Can't get one of them there. I don't know, but
Oh no, it's beggars belief. We like a pint in a pie. We can't get a pint either.
we'll come to that,
There you
mate.
go.
We'll come to that. But, you have a pint, you need to go to decent toilets, all better.
Well, some of yous do. Because some of yous are wee lasses when it comes to
You've got
that.
the old Billy Connolly's on, ain't you?
Aye, tighter and easy. Great there, mate.
Oh dear.
Anyway, we were talking
laugh. I think South Side's infected me, Robert.
What's that, mate?
I think South Side's infected me.
Oh, I needed a cough sweet last night, that man.
Fisherman's friend for him, I think.
Oh, aye.
Anyway, right, okay. So come and join us, 0141 356 1972. What's important for you at the stadium to improve? The stuff that's come out today, yeah? I think you've got something there in front of you, Robert, yeah? What it sort of broke this afternoon. The fan advisory board, see if you want to give that a shout out, mate.
Yeah, certainly, mate. So a message from the Rangers fan advisory board. Following the communication of Rangers kicking off the Ibrox feasibility study, today we had an introductory call with the team about the future potential for Ibrox and the matchday experience for the support. This included both the stadium itself and the wider stadium footprint. We stated that to all of us, Ibrox is our home and a massively important piece of infrastructure which can be modernised and improved to become again the jewel in our crown. We also provided feedback on the areas where things could be improved, high-level list below. Celebrating and maintaining the heritage of the stadium, capacity increase, safe standing, alcohol sales at games, modernisation of areas, toilets, Wi-Fi, etc. Areas that could do with a tidy up or renewal, footprint surface and surrounding roads and walkways improvements, improvements to offerings and footprint stack type things, for example, ingress and egress to stadium, parking, public transport, particularly subway and its closing times, and potential for Ibrox train stadium to be reopened. This is not to say that any of these things will definitely happen, but it was just an opening call, an opportunity to discuss and provide feedback. Dialogue and conversations will be ongoing. All feedback we have received through our own surveys has been shared. We stress that communication is key throughout the project.
Albert.
That sounds good. Sounds all right. Sounds good. Some bit more than others. Aye. You want to go through them one at a time, or you want to? My idea is the stadium itself. The capacity needs to go up, and it's just need to. That's just, and that brings in more revenue, obviously.
When you say about up, what have you got a number in your head?
10,000 at least.
Yeah. Okay. All right. I would actually like more than that, mate, if it was possible. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll come with my reasons why, but I think the people in charge will have to. They'll do their feasibility with risk and reward, what you get for that, and what it costs, and how quickly. Yeah, because it is a business. I think, but if you get a winning team on the park, I think that you could go to another 20,000. Now, I'm not saying there'll be 70,000 people there every week, because I'm not that naive. If you're playing Albion Rovers in a League Cup on a Tuesday night, yeah, I get that, understand that. Yeah, but I think there's that we could, if we get it right, and then the revenue comes in for that, and maybe more families, more future support, and you have that rolling. Yeah, all right, I get it. I just, what's your take on that, Robert?
I'm kind of similar to Albert, mate. I'd say about 10,000, 12,000 kind of to start with. A wee bit like what you're saying there, risk and reward. There'll be figures to kind of play out and see what's feasible and what's realistic. But I think that would be a kind of good starting block, particularly if you look at the waiting list for season tickets.
Is there, mate? Is there? You're all right. There might be a waiting list for season tickets, but you could have any game this season at Ibrox if you wanted, Albert, couldn't you?
You can. Hopefully, that's the feasibility studies today, is to draw more people in. Because at the moment, it's not really a brilliant experience. It's not. It's just the same experience. Let's be honest about it. We've always known. It's just no modernised at all. There's no anything that you could say, "Oh, they do this a lot better than me." We used to get a cheese roll and a packet of spearmint chewing gum and a what do you call it, a macaroon bar. It's improved for that, but not much. Let's be honest about
it. Listen, I think it's important that there's joined up thinking, yeah. And you get it right. whatever you do, you get right, Robert. You know, like when we done the improvement to the Common Road stand for the disabled, a brilliant thing to be done, but we didn't get it right for everybody, yeah. And the chaos it caused, it started something that was positive turned into a negative, didn't it?
It did die because obviously we had to go to Hampden, which caused its own problems. But as you said, if there is something, if they're ever going to do a capacity increase, it's doing it at the right time and not where possible. I know there might be kind of disruption that sometimes it's out with control, but minimise that as much as possible so that we're not having to go to another ground, we're not having to shut off sections. But
if you're going to do that, mate,
again, it's realistic.
The common sense is to move for a year, innit? You know, you'll struggle if you. Aye. But I think Liverpool done their main stand as much as they can, built round the outside and had it limited for a good part of the season and built round it. But if that was possible, aye, but I'm not saying it would be possible if you were doing it. You've got to be realistic if you're going to do major work, that there's going to be some impact. All better.
Aye, of course, mate. Well, there's clever engineers out there, no? I mean, let's be honest with it. But one of the things, I'm saying 10,000 to start with, what Rob was saying as well, but realistically, if you look at it, I mean, we're the biggest supported club in Britain. Let's not forget that fact. And we shouldn't be sitting with a stadium that holds 52,000 when you've got these stadiums down south, and even a scum stadium, 60 odd thousand, and we're sitting at 52. Manchester United is sitting at 80 or
75.
And Tottenham sitting at 80, 90, so is the Emirates, the Arsenal.
60,000 they too, mate.
Who?
Tottenham and Arsenal, 60,000, mate.
No. Tottenham's well up to the 80s.
60,100 Tottenham, mate. They put in 100 more seats in Arsenal or something like that. I'll check it out and I'll Google you, but I think it's just.
I'm sure the two of them had in excess of 70, 80,000.
You've been on the funny facts again. Tell him, Robert.
Right, anyway, Robert, you sort it out. I don't believe him.
I'll check
He's
it.
bad information. But anyway, back to my point, is that we are the biggest supported club in Britain. And our stadium should reflect that. Even if you don't fill it for certain games, I understand that. But we should have the capacity, if we get the big games in Europe, for example, and all that you should be taking an extra 10, 20,000 revenue into the club.
Stadium, 62,850.
That was the old stadium. You're looking at it. Aye. No, you're his pop now. And don't trust the two, you do. Right, 62,000. Well, even that, it's. I think that's pretty poor for them. I thought they were up to about 80. But there you go. We're the biggest supported club, and we're sitting with less than them, with 52,000. I know when it started and all that, and the refurbishing started, they wanted to supply and demand. They wanted to keep a waiting list there, just to keep the demand there, so that buy your season ticket. If you don't buy your season ticket, you let it lapse, you'll probably not get it back. Type attitude. I know that was one of the reasons for doing that. So they kept it. They knew that 52,000 wasn't going to be big enough, but they knew that it also keeps everybody honest and going to the games. It's just a marketing ploy, isn't it, basically? But we should be sitting at 70,000 at least, mate. At least 70,000. It's ridiculous. I mean, the old Ibrox, we used to 70, 80,000. We used to get in there, no bother. Absolutely no bother. Which, by the way, you can actually increase, I would reckon, 10,000 initially without any rebuilding. It's just simply standing areas. If they made all the boating areas standing, or the two ends standing, you're going to get at least another 2,000-3,000 people in each of these ends, just for being a standing area. And let's be honest, they want to stand anyway.
The modern standing areas, you're sort of allotted like seats, mate. It's not like all terracing. You'd have to bring back.
See all that. That needs to be fought, mate. That's just nonsense. That's health and safety.
Would you go back to say the enclosure being the enclosure? Is that what you're saying?
Aye, except on the bottom tiers of the stands. They should be all standing areas, mate.
All right, okay.
And that
Thoughts,
takes you,
Bob?
I mean, you'll definitely get another 10,000 people in there if you do it right. But that's day building. There's day building required. You're just taking seats out and putting banisters, or what do you call them? Putting the rails back in, the barriers in.
All right. Robert, thoughts?
I think without having to do a rebuild, as Albert says, there's opportunity where you can increase capacity at the moment. I mean, I know it's been spoke about for years, is removing the screens at the corners. If you take that away, you get an extra few seats in. So that ups it. Maybe not an awful lot, but it ups it. And then there's obviously the conversation about filling in the gaps, the opposite corners and the main stand side. So you can still do things without doing a rebuild. Then there's always the option of lowering the pitch as well. Again, people would have to look at that and see how far we can lower it. How much does that give you extra as well? So without doing a massive rebuild, there's still options available. It just depends, as you say, mate, what's the risk and reward to do the one that looks good and fill it. Because at the end of the day, you don't want to have a big space created, empty seats, which is obvious to see on TV and things like that around the stadium. You want to fill it as much as possible. So, but I suppose that comes down to the product on the park. When you're winning, you'll fill it. If you're not, people will stay away.
Aye, but obviously that's the part of the risk and reward, Albert, isn't it?
Well, it's that, mate. It's but if you're looking at it, I'm not saying it's a quick fix, but it's a fix, and it also satisfies two items on the list at the same time: standing area and increase the capacity, and that's an immediate effect. You can do that for next season. It's not that difficult. All you need to do is start arguing with that council and get it done. One of the things, I know this is going to sound silly, one of the things that really annoys me
Don't say it
at
then.
Ibrox, I go to say I see something all the time, mate. Is the positioning of the cameras for when they're televising games. If the Americans want to make an impression and put their stamp on Ibrox without actually wrecking any of the heritage or anything like that, a simple fix and a simple thing is relocate the cameras. So when you're looking at the Ibrox pitch on telly, it changes the whole image of the ground. It just changes better view. I just think they're too low. Always did think that. So if you change that, you change the whole view of Ibrox. I think that should be one of the things you're looking at. And that's their stamp they're putting on the ground now. I mean, that's the American stamp, the better viewing. Because at the moment, I don't think it's particularly, when you're watching it on the telly, it's not particularly a good viewing. I don't think you get a good idea of the game. That's just another one. It's just, I don't think they've got that, but I'm sticking that one in myself.
All right. You're entitled to your opinion, mate, yeah? This is Albert's not here. You're allowed your opinion, yeah?
I know, I'm just used to saying, shut up. You think that's my second name? You shut up.
Look, if you walk up to Ibrox, you walk around the stadium, mate, the walkways and all that need a lot of work on it. I think they know that. But I think if they're going to do some building work, that'll all be done at once. And there's no point in doing all that if you're then going to dig something up to redo it. You know, like we witness a lot in other towns and cities up and down the country, mate. Yeah, there's no joined up thinking. So you want to get the joined up thinking right. Have a plan, get it right, and make sure that it's done properly. And if you're doing the areas, I would think that in modern, you're going to have to have more facilities. Like I think the concourses aren't big enough now. People should be making their way into the ground and meeting in warm concourses where they can have a beer, they can have hot food, and I mean hot food, decent food, in space, yeah, where it all becomes part of the experience, and they go there, and people are there socially, and it's all, they're spending money in the stadium. No good economically for a lot of the businesses surrounding, but ultimately we are there as Rangers supporters, Robert.
Aye, of course, mate. And as you say, that when you meet up with a group of people within the stadium before a game, rather than having to meet up outside it, then you can get yourself a drink, whether that's alcohol, as that's something that's mentioned as well, which we'll touch on. whether it's alcohol, a soft drink, a hot drink, and hot food, it's still money in the club's funds. Do you know what I mean? That's revenue. That's still income. Obviously, you want a good quality for what you're paying for as well.
Aye.
So everything needs to be looked at on that front. But I agree. As soon as you walk in, you're met with that cold, stone flare, freezing conditions, and it's not any warmer in the stadium, in the stands itself. So a mingling area would be good around the stadium as well. As you say, just that bit of socialisation before a game.
Aye, I mean, the concourses at the time were modern, mate, but when you look at them now, they're not big enough. And particularly the lower down ones, I've said this before on the show, should be brought right back. And if you're going to expand the stadium, you have to look at it. Bring them back and use the space. Then have bigger and better toilets, eating areas, everything modern, warm. Yeah, that people go in there, they're out the elements in the winter, they're meeting in there. You can meet for right around the stadium. You get like the day in theatres all there, you get the buzzer or the alarm with 15 minutes to go. You've got to make your way to your seat, yeah, and have it all modern. It ain't that difficult, but you've got to do it, plan it, build it, and get it right, yeah.
It's good. When you look at plenty of examples all around the world of how it should be done.
Go and steal the best ideas, mate. What's wrong with that?
No, nothing at all. Nothing at all. I mean, I've not been to down to that Tottenham. I'm going to do it, but I'm definitely going to go down to that Tottenham ground to see what it's like, because
You're going to count the seats because you don't believe us.
Aye, I'm definitely going to do that. That's a given. And then I'm going to come back up and give it to you too when I've counted them and say there's 62,362, no 61 or whatever. But no, I want to see that ground because it is supposed to be spectacular. And there's another one as well. They're talking about the revenue streams. It's Ibrox is sitting empty all week. Tottenham seen that right away and went, "No, don't put the plastic pitch underneath, move the pitch out the way, the grass pitch out the way, and bring the plastic pitch into play." And then they'll get their American football and all sorts of things they've done. Rangers should be doing this as well. I mean, it's not that difficult. I know we're getting into the realms of what can we afford and fantasy and stuff like that, mate. But the ideas are there, the ideas are in place, the ideas are actually working. So, as I say, go in and steal the best ideas and incorporate them into your own. You don't have to think of anything new. It's already there in place in other grounds, working.
Aye. And obviously, if you get it right and your revenue streams come up and you've got a decent team on the park and the revenue get bigger, you think about it, Robert. You're going to a game, you're based in the government stand towards the away support, right? Yeah?
Yep.
You're parked at the Celtic end of the Grun, for instance, right? So you leave the Grun and Rangers have had a fabulous result. You can't buy anything off of Rangers. You don't walk by. You might walk by sellers selling scarves, hats, etc., but none of that revenue goes to Rangers, remember? Yeah?
Mm-hmm.
So you've had a great result. You want to buy the kid's been at his first game. You want to buy him this, that, and the other. There's no shops in any stands. What happened in America, mate?
No,
you're right. As you say, it comes back to the concourse as well, because you go to, as you say, Tottenham's got it. And again, you can use even football grounds. If you look at concert halls, look at the Hydro and things like that. There's merchandise stalls within the concourses as well. So if that was put up again, if you're not able enough to go to Edmondson House before the game, you want to jump down at half time or end of the game, grab something from the stall within the stands. Again, there's options that can be done. You don't need to have all the food kiosks inside a concourse. You could have a merchandise stall, so you've got that option for revenue to be put into the club. As much as you want to support the guys outside that are doing the scarves and the badges and the flags and stuff, but if there's stuff indoors,
why would you want to support them?
I think it's obviously they're just doing it out their own time, their own kind of benefit as well. So
are they?
All business, but at the same time, mate,
what's their motivation?
The club.
Is it Rangers? Or the
It's
Rangers
no
1 week or somewhere else the following week?
Exactly.
They'll be somewhere else. So whether you want to support the kind of wee business people, independents or not,
Why?
that's what I'm saying. Right now, you've got the option, but if the option's inside the concourse, then you're more likely to do it inside than you would be outside.
All right. We'll come to you with that one, Albert. I think you're similar to me. Listen, come and join us. Give your thoughts. What's important to you, your fans? Yeah, we've all got different needs. Albert might be able to do away with his special pants he's got if the toilets have improved. But you might have a different idea. You might think that we want alcohol. Other people might think it ain't a good idea to go. We never really did sell alcohol in the stadium. You're allowed to take a drink in, Albert. But that was a different. You couldn't buy it in there. Yeah. But, the way people talk, it was as if you could have a pint there again. That was never the case in Scottish football. You had a lot of drinking, but none of it was in the run, was it?
Well, there was in the hospitality, but even that, you're not allowed to drink at half time, which is put that one out. I don't get that one. But anyway, I take it there'll be another daft Scottish rule for that. But you're not allowed to drink at half time. You can drink before the game, you can drink after the game, but you can't drink at half time. Work it out, mate. You can't even drink during the game. And work that one out. That doesn't make any sense to me either. But anyway, we're no grown-ups. We're not allowed to get drunk. But it's funny, isn't it, when you're talking about us to improve the ground. Now, I'm spoke about Chelsea, Spurs ground there and their pitch. They can move their pitch and all that. What are we talking about? Better pies. I mean, that's the mentality. That's how low we've all sank. That all we want is a better pie. Chelsea, Spurs have got a ground that they can move a full football park right out the stadium and leave a plastic pitch to play in. We're wanting a pie, and it's a sad indictment of Scottish football, really, isn't it? It's where we are, and we consider this for national sport. It's a joke, isn't it? It's an absolute joke.
And the thing about it is you've got to constantly reinvest in, mate. You've got to constantly reinvest in, and be careful with your recruitment and players take money out, because if they take too much out, mate, your facilities can go downhill rapidly. Anyway, come and join us. 0141 356 1972. Oh, Big Stevie comes in. He might want better pies, mate, and shoot your pitch argument, done, mate. Right? Come and give your thoughts. I want my younger supporters. I want a constant generation change at Ibrox, because everybody's got to go to their first game, their last game, get involved. There's a downside of season tickets, in my opinion, Robert, that it stunts supporters turning up at games. But I understand how it's became the norm. People just can't a big game, or maybe they'll get a choice. But how do you do it? It's fair. How do you reward loyalty? I accept all the arguments as well. But it's difficult.
But see that one. See that one, Ox. You could have a swap shop type situation. You could have supporters all contacting each other and say,
"Is that the same as
buying?
All be a swap shop?"
I don't know. I don't know about that. I'm naive when it comes to that. I'll let you talk about that.
Okay, mate.
But the you know what I'm saying? You could if supporters are making. I know it's. You get together and sit and say, "Oh, I'm in the Govan, I'm in the Copeland, wherever. I want to go with my boy." And the guy next to you is saying, "Oh, I want to go with my mate. Where's your mate?" Try and get people together and say, "Right, I'll swap your seat, you get my seat," and just get into Rangers and swap the names over, and bang, there you're sitting together now. And that's it. And you can do that, but nobody ever does anything. Everybody just goes separately into the games, and your mate's sitting across the other side of the ground for you, and then you meet up before the game and after the game. I know what you're saying. When it was standing, you could just storm where you want with all your mates. It was great. It was great.
Right. As I said, the people out there listening, we accept there's a lot of big games on the night with some fancy stadiums. But come and give your thoughts about our team and our run. Yeah. I just think it's important that you get it right, Robert, if that makes sense. Whatever you do, you get it right.
Aye, 100%, because it's the supporters that are paying the money week in, week out, and you want to give them a good experience. Obviously, we all want results and on the park, but you want to enjoy your day out. You want to get your money's off as well. So if you can make it a full experience, which we know the Americans like to do, you look at their sports over there, American football, they big that right up. They have a great day of it. So could we look there and see what do they do? What can we bring over? These guys know what they're doing as well. They're businessmen, so they'll do what's kind of right for business. But you want to enjoy your day out as much as possible and not just turn up, park the car, go to the game, and go home. I know that's what some people do. But when you're socialising, you're turning up to a game. You want to be a good atmosphere in and around the ground as well.
I mean, one of mine in the modern, if the concourses are right, mate, you should be getting into the concourses, and particularly in the winter, because if you accept, we play the vast majority of our games for October, November, December, January, February, March, when the weather might not be great, right? So they should be warm, and then obviously when you go into the elements to watch the game, I get that, yeah, but the concourses and that should be warm, hot air and whatever, in a modern outlooking stadium, mate. And then people would meet in there early, they spend cash, maybe have a few pints, maybe there'll be a lot of food stalls, more cash, they meet there at 1 o'clock, and then they're spending revenue and it all becomes part of the game. And then they might stay for a 45 minutes after the game, chatting to people, meet up and then leave. Spending again. I get that all hot business is run about, but our passion is Glasgow Rangers, all better.
That's it. And not just that. Heaven forbid, we might even get people in charge of the charge of the game that want to grow the game, which helps all these facilities come into being. Because at the moment, it's all down to the individual clubs to do their own thing and try and grow their own revenue streams, which is fine and dandy. That's the way it should be. But they also need help for the so-called people that are in charge who are not in charge. These clowns that are getting fantastic salaries for doing absolutely hee-haw. They bringing anything into the game to grow the game commercially.
Well, they're growing the game, mate. We're growing on the telly. We're on at 8 o'clock on a Saturday night with stadiums that are empty.
It's mental, man. But anyway, again, that's all we ever say. It's mental. It's not right. It's that. But nothing ever changes, mate. Nothing ever changes. As Kavanagh's going to find out how difficult it is to get anything changed in Scotland. Unfortunately, the man's going to see it for himself firsthand, and he'll be scratching his head going, I can't believe we're in a business now that doesn't want to grow and doesn't want to make money. They're happy for the status quo to continue. It is dreary, boring, crap product we'll put on offer. And all his idiots go.
Yep. Anyway, we'll be joined by our Smurf, Evening Smurf. Come on, Smurf, come off of mute. Oh, well, he's doing a bridge there. Robert?
Nah, you'll be connected to that watch again down the stairs like the last time. Needs to turn that off. Oh, see one thing as well, we're talking about space that the club's got as well. But we've still got the space that the old megastore was at. I know there was talks about the sports bar, which kind of get binned after a while.
And
but there's that space there.
The whole scheme of things, mate, that's tiny.
Aye, but it's a space that you can utilise as well to start with until you're doing other things.
Would you not be better putting everything hold feasible and do what you're going to do and get it right, mate?
Aye, I get that. But in the meantime, while you're doing all this thinking and all this planning, there's a space there that you could try and implement and use in the meantime, because it's just sitting there empty. Maybe it's a short term.
What are you going to get in there? A couple, huh?
Aye, but it's still revenue in it. As I said, you'd rather make a little the new than have it empty until you decide what's the best way forward.
It's no revenue we need, mate. Well, the turnover helps, but it's profit. It's what you're going to have to spend, the licenses, get it all done, mate, and what you're going to have to do, and the staff.
You could turn it into one big. You could turn it into one big urinal. That'd be good. I mean, it'd help.
Yeah. I get your point, mate. I think we should be looking slightly better than that, if that makes sense, Robert. I don't want PE, yeah, because obviously I've discussed with Albert that I don't think Edmondson House was big enough. You know, if you were going to do it, if you were going to do it, it ended up no big enough. And whether that'll become part of the plans going forward. It'll remain to be seen, but it's going to be interesting where we go. But it's also important that we get a winning team on the park. Anyway, hopefully, Mr. Smurf's with us now. Evening, Smurf.
Evening, gentlemen. I hope you're well. Seth, sorry about that. Bit of a technical issue there. No, good to be. Good. Thanks for letting me in. Good to be on. Yeah, I was just. I know you are talking about the footprint in the stadium and stuff, but I had to phone up. I watched Hearts score that second goal, and then I watched the camera pan round to their new manager, and to me, he just looked like Russell Martin and Paul Le Guen rolled into one. He just looked like an empty vessel. And I said when Russell Martin first came, and I got a wee bit of stick about it. And I think I've been fair with managers over the piece, you know, particularly with Big Phil. But I could see it right away by Russell Martin. I called it right away, and I'm calling this. This man is in the wrong movie, and I've been grinning for
Are you
years.
sure you realise this is Rangers Radio?
Aye, I know that.
Right,
But
okay.
my point,
Right.
I've been grinning for ear to ear for Sunday.
Right, but how do you want them? How do you want them? How do you want them to be proved? You want them to be proved. They want them to back them with a helmet, and hopefully
You
you're
want
right.
you,
But
aye, you want
it'll
me
take
back
5
at my
years
help.
to find out, mate.
Aye, you want me back at my help for the next 3 years. Always on a 10-year always on a Jim McLean contract.
Aye, so what you've got to do, Smurf, is you've got to learn to shh.
I know. But
Yeah.
I'm full of exuberance.
I know you're smiling and laughing
happy.
and all, but
I know. I can't help it. And anyway, I thought I should.
maybe you need some coaching how to keep a secret, mate.
Maybe.
Albert.
Dear me.
Aye, well, I didn't see it myself, but I'll take his word for it, by the way. But don't shout too loud because it's enjoyable. It really is enjoyable. Let them carry on, man. Let them carry on.
It was just the fact it was one of the rain that bulleted a header, and you know it was just poetic, fantastic. Anyway, let's move on. I suppose. What was I going to say? That you were talking about Edmondson House, and I always felt that that was too small, and that you could move. The building should have been bigger and sort of expanded towards the Copeland Road station a bit more. There's a natural sort of break where there's a pathway that goes between the two tenements, and I always felt that it actually looks it looks too small where it is, and I'm just hoping that this Mr. Kavanagh really is going to go hard with Rangers, you know, and do the right thing by us and expand and grow the club, because the fan base is there, and there's a lot of latent financial opportunities that we're missing. There really is. If you build it right and you market it right, the fans will come, and the money that goes with it will come to be reinvested in a club. So I'm on board with what everybody's saying. I totally agree. I think as big as we are, I don't think we're scratching the surface at the moment. And that was my main point.
Aye. What you're saying is there's a lot of potential untapped. Yeah, support.
100%.
Aye. We get that. Understand that. But to have that 20,000 people extra there, Alberg, you need other kind of facilities, which might be the public transport lines, have to be better. Arguably, every time you read it, every 6 months, there seems to be going to be more restrictions in parking about the stadium. I wonder why that is. But however, people are going to have to get there. So, I mean, train lines and public transport lines, the subway works. But I don't know if it could take another 20,000 people try to get there on a Saturday afternoon, you know. So the train, people come for the airports, people coming from other places, but they wouldn't then go into the city. They would be able to come in the train line to the stadium, and then you would have two kinds of capacities. The roads to the motorways doesn't seem to work on match days. The motorway couldn't really be any closer up there, could it? In reality,
No. It's well, they're talking about is it a mile? You can't park within a mile of Ibrox, which or something like that. It's mental, mate. It's just mental. Again, who's wanting this? It's some wee woman's great that there's a motor parked outside her close, and that's it. We've all got to move. Everybody's got to move.
I think you're being naive there.
I know. It's at the end of the day, I mean, how do you solve the car parking situation? We had a big, huge car park. We've sold half of it now. I think we've sold more than half of it. So that's gone. That's gone. That was to build Edmondson House, which is two-way. How Edmondson, how the Copeland Road, the offices at the back, they just didn't extend it right across that whole car park and put one level up. So when you go there, you're walking under a tunnel, and there's an area there for the people that were getting into the ground in rainy days and things like that, and then the whole thing's above you. How they never built that right out? Why we picked to build it there, and the old footprint where the old Ibrox house was, I don't know, mate. I don't know. There was a big opportunity there that we didn't take. We done it on the cheap anyway. It was that Buzzgrove. I mean, I don't know on the cheap. Let's be honest about it. I don't particularly like Edmondson House. I'm not impressed with it at all. Never have been, mate, since the day it opened. But then we've got it now, so we need to do something with it. And I don't think you're going to bring the money in that's going to be required because of the size of it. It's just two-way, as you've been saying. It's just two-way. They're not getting away for that. And then you've got the problem if you want to expand it in its present position. You need to then start getting all the people in the flats to agree, and it's just murder, mate. It's just murder. At the end of the day, the facilities all around Ibrox is underdeveloped, as we've been saying. So there is room not around about Ibrox to develop these things. But again, whether they'll do it, I don't know. I don't know, mate. I don't know if it's feasible to do it, because one of the things saying to build onto the stands, the foundations, they've not got the foundations to build onto the stands. You know what I mean? So if you want to make the existing stands bigger, the foundations couldn't handle it. So it's it with it's in the tolerance at the moment.
You'd have to find all that out, mate. All the structural stuff would have to be done. You know, the people who've done it at the time, mate, when the first stand opened, when was it, 79? Yeah, 79, the first stand opened, was it? 78? What do you think? 79. So that was planned for the mid-70s onwards, the time it was built, planned and all that, and at the time it was modern. You know, things have moved on dramatically, Robert.
It has, mate. It has. It's become more modernised, and that's how we've kind of got to keep up with the things. And as you said, there's other stadiums out there that have got ideas and blueprints. I mean, even if you just look at Leeds, who obviously Parag Marat's get involvement with, they're looking at doing a stadium increase over the next 4 years. I think it's up to 70,000 they're doing. I think it's £200 million. So obviously right away they're going, well, we're back in the Prem. Whether they stay there or not is a different story, but they've got ambition to grow their stadium, grow their capacity. Other stadiums are looking at how they can improve things, so it's only right we're doing the same, trying to keep up with the modern times and try and make it, as you said, a good experience but modernised. I mean, it wasn't, when we obviously had the main stand, people looked at Ibrox as well, look at what they're doing. So now it's kind of time for us to go and look what other clubs are doing and see where we can improve and adapt to make it right for us.
Smurf.
Aye. I don't live a million miles away from Leeds, and that stadium's only holds about 36,000, and they're doing 2 stones initially, and it's going to take capacity to about 50,000. But aye, we've got to. For me, the old sort of banking, all the effort was banked up for the old bowl at Ibrox. The residue of it's still there around it. I'd like to see all that removed. I'd like to see it sort of flattened, if you like, and the thing developed properly. I wouldn't like to see them do a piecemeal. What can we do with this kind of stuff? I think.
All right,
like
mate.
to
I'll cut across you, mate, because we've reached that time of the evening. We'll come straight back to you, but we're going to have a chat.
Away.
Rangers do not Ibrox is the place, and we will follow in the championship race. Yes, it's true, the boys in blue are just magic on the ball. The Glasgow Rangers football team's the greatest team of all. It's true, the magic boys in blue are the best team in the land. You've got to queue and govern to get a ticket for the stand. Yes, it's true, the boys in blue are just magic on the ball. The Glasgow Rangers football team's the greatest team of all. We've spent a lot of money on great players, yes that's true. But the Rangers fans deserve the best from the boys in royal blue. Yes it's true, the boys in blue are just magic on the ball. The Glasgow Rangers football team's the greatest team of all. The story, it was dismal, full of gloom. Now we're building an extension for the Ibrox trophy room. Yes, it's true, the boys in blue are just magic on the ball. The Glasgow Rangers football team's the greatest team of all. In Europe, we'll be travelling by land and sea and plane. The teddy bears have got the bears and we're on the march again. Yes, it's true, the boys in blue are just magic on the ball. The Glasgow Rangers football team's the greatest team of all. Yes, it's true, the boys in blue are just magic on the ball. The Glasgow Rangers football team's the greatest team of all. Yes, it's true, the boys in blue are just magic on the ball. The Glasgow Rangers football team's the greatest team of all. Yes, it's true, the boys in blue are just magic on the ball. The Glasgow Rangers football team's the greatest team of all. Yes, it's true, the boys in blue are just magic on the ball. The Glasgow Rangers football team's the greatest team of all. Yes, it's true, the boys in blue are just magic on the ball.
Why don't you give us a call on 0141 356 1972? It's your show, it's your platform. Let's hear from you.
Aye. Listen, get it right. Whatever you do, get it right. Make sure it's fit for purpose. Make sure it's modern. It's going to carry for a generation. What's a generation? 25-year-old bear? 25-year plus? 50-year in football, if you do it. Yeah?
Aye. Reading a sneaker there.
What's that, mate?
I'm eating a sneaker. I couldn't get off mute.
All right, mate. All right. Okay. Just let us know, yeah.
Well, that's one of my suggestions. Sell sneakers.
No, that's Ox. I think you're right. I think do it once and do it properly, and you know, in a nutshell. I think that's what's required, and aye, and sort of it's got to be something that's sympathetic to the main stand as well. You know what I mean? It can't be some sort of space age thing that they do, and it's obviously not going to be like that anyway. But do it once, do it properly, and with a bit of class. That's what I'd like to see.
Aye, because I think the consensus would be, Robert, that it's Ibrox, in it. It's Ibrox. And the basis will come off the main stand, mate. Yeah.
Aye, of course, mate. As I said, the first point they said there in the statement was celebrate and maintain the heritage. So they want to keep, obviously, that part of the aspect as well, but they realise that there is scope and potential for modernisation and improving things. As much as you want to keep the heritage, 100%, I agree with it. But you've got another 3 stands there as well where you can play about with and get it, as I say, get it right first and foremost. And if you do it right, it does create that longevity for a long period of time where somebody else can come along and take over and say, right, what's the next step? Where are we now in 25, 30 years' time? What's required now? How can we improve it again? And can I start that foundation?
Anyway, we've been joined by, I'm really looking forward to this. Evening, Jimmy.
Good evening, lads. Thanks for taking my call.
Always, mate.
How are you
Always,
getting on? All right?
always.
All right?
Yeah, good to hear from you, mate.
All right. No, it's just listening to all this about, you know, the grund's going to get made bigger, the park's going to get raised, it's going to get lowered.
But we need
We're
to
going
set
to-
it forward, Jimmy, I know.
We're going to build hotels, and the pies is going to be good, and the toilets are going to be good now. We had all that in the Murray days when Murray was bringing success, and we were winning leagues and we were winning cups, and it was sustainable, and this was going to happen and that was going to happen, and nothing happened apart from the old stand getting another level put on it. You know, nothing else happened. Like, you know, nothing changed.
He
Because
done the corners in the screen as well, didn't he?
Aye, but the screens have been changed about 3 or 4 times since then, haven't they? All different shapes, different sizes, different formats and all. It's everything stems from the show in the park. It's like a theatre. You know, I mean, if the show in the theatre or the show in the pictures is no use, the people will walk out and the people will not go here. And that's it. It doesn't matter what the building's like, what the toilets are like, and all the rest of it. The supporters go to the games. A big percentage of them go in supporters buses, and that will get bigger with the parking scene because you can't get parked. Now, after the game, the majority of people, and that's no changed. I'm very seldom on buses now, unless it's a European away thing, and we go for the airport or the game. But they people that I know that still go on the buses, they've not got hundreds of pounds to spend on fancy dinners and fancy this before and after the game. They've got to get ferries, they've got to get hen, they've got things to do. Mm-hmm. So the whole day centres around that hour and a half of the game, or else if it's a night, a cup game, the extra time aspect to it. And a lot of them sacrifice the extra time because they've got to get out and get home. They can't sit through it, even though they're there, you know. And if they do sit through it, the consequences of that is missing ferries, missing this, missing that, and missing the next thing, you know. So you're looking at the actual football on the park. That's the key to the whole thing, the show. That's what it's all about. The Americans, they bring in, you know, pop stars, film stars, people at the top of their game and pay them thousands and thousands of dollars or whatever to entertain the crowd. That's not going to happen in Scotland with the piss and rain and all the rest of it, in a stadium that's not got a roof on it. You know, they're not going to have some fun. We're lucky if we got a pipe band out on the park, you know. So all that's not going to happen. Realistically, the making the grun bigger, that has to be based solely on the projected season ticket sales. If they think they can sell 50,000, 60,000 season tickets a year, then make it to that capacity or a wee bit over it. Because it's the season tickets that pay for the whole shooting match, because the money's in the bank. You pay your ticket, or you commit to paying your ticket, they take your money off you, and it doesn't matter what the team's like. You've paid your money. They've got to all record you. Just like the European package for the European games. They sell that out, and then you're getting humped in all the games, but they've got the money in. It's a business. The money has to be in. And in order to maximise all your potential, you have to have a show in the park. So you have to have a winning team, no matter how you do it or what you do it. And that'll generate interest. And most of your interest will come for television, particularly European things. Television and media interest. It'll not come for a Tuesday night in a League Cup tie doing an Arlo or something like that. You know, that's not even at the races. So it's a thing on the park. I know all about people saying you need a nice car park, you need this, you need that. The council are trying to do away with motors. That's what their long term is. That is public transport, infrastructure. Now, that can go some distance, whereas you get the improved rail things and buses coming in. Just like the European things, where they take you in buses pick you up, take you to airports, take you to trains, take you into the centre of the town, and then you can move away from there. That can work. You know, but it's actually parking motors and then walking for miles to try and get to the ground, and wee boys coming up taking a watch. That's all done and dusted, that. You know? So it's a whole thing for them. But these people that run us now are pure and simple businessmen. You know? They've not got the love of the Rangers, the love of this, the love of that. It's a commercial opportunity they're seeing with the Rangers, just the same as they're seeing it at Leeds. And they can't compare the Rangers to Leeds because of the amount of money that the English football draws in for the television and all the rest of it. At Leeds are fighting to survive. At Rangers, they need to win things. It's not about survival up here, it's about winning. And if you don't keep winning and start winning, then you'll not survive. You'll go down the same route as these big clubs in England have been doing. But you'll not have the money to back you up. You'll become a Hearts or an Aberdeen or a Hibs or something like that. That's the danger. We have to start winning. All the rest of the show and all that is quite important. You know, there's different people, as I say, there's people that I've been sitting next to before at the cup games where you get different people coming in and sitting down, and they see it as an event. You know, they're talking about, have you never been to an event before? You know, it's a football match, an event. I mean, it's only an hour and a half, maybe 2 hours, for me to go and see the Rangers, and that's what I'm interested in. The pies, the toilets, all the rest of it. I mean, my toilet situation's that dramatic that I can't go now because it all comes out like a alarm can because of prostate cancer and different things. So I can't get down. I can't get down at the normal time when you're all standing against the trough because of slashing a guy next to me, and that doesn't get in too well. And then when you go,
I'll take you to my toilet expert, Albert.
Aye.
Well, I wanted to turn that corner where the old shop was into one big urinal. Maybe that sorted you, Jimmy. That'd have helped anyway, that.
Aye, but it's all crazy. I remember going to that Beatson place and the woman told me about milking. And she told me how you milked. I says, I can just see me storing a gent's toilet, a communal thing, me. And I'm storing milk. And I said, I'll end up with a tag and end up in a fucking jail, you know?
Too much information. By the way, we don't disagree with you because if you noticed at the start, what we said was there's no point in having a good burger and a crap team. Yeah, people would rather have a bad burger and a good team. Yeah.
But it's a different generation now, and I respect that. You can't, you know, my time's been, and, you know, I'm lucky that I've seen what I've seen, and it's been good. But the young team aren't seeing anything now. But, I mean, yeah, what are they called? The Union Bears. They're back in the bother now about this. Some wee boy got hurt with a firework or something. So, do you honestly think that the guys in the Union Bears, that their main concern now is the quality of the pies or the tarmac than about the gun. Do you think that's what they're sitting talking about? I don't.
No. But when you walk
don't.
up for the subway station in the Grun, mate, it ain't a good look and it ain't a good feeling. In fact, the tarmac's that for anybody who's got any issues at all, it's borderline dangerous, mate.
Aye. Well, I parked my motor up at the back at Broomland Road, up just on the wee brow of the hill facing towards the tunnel, where that, what is it called, McDonald's and, no McDonald's, that other place, chicken, but Kentucky chicken, and Aldi's and all that. Aye, just on that wee brow of the hill up for there, I parked there, so that I quick getaway to get through the tunnel. And you're walking round there, and sometimes if it's a Celtic, obviously you can't walk round, so you've got to get right round the whole thing. But, you know, even allowing for all that, you know, it wasn't that long ago. I can't mind, like a season ago or a couple of seasons ago, we played Man United at that place in Edinburgh, that rugby thing. You know, I was walking to that place. That was horrendous trying to get in there, parks and mud and all sorts. And that's a relatively sort of upbeat new rugby to whatever it's called. I don't know. You know, that wasn't great. But the main thing for me is the team. You know, I mean, it's if the show is good, then you'll put up with all the rest of it. You know, it's an hour and a half out of my life. You know, but it's a big part of my life, the Rangers. But the actual, all the peripheral things, you know, I mean, I went to that Rangers dinner place for my Christmas dinner, and last Friday we were at it, up the stairs, that blue, whatever it's called, room, you know. So that was all right, you know, but aye, blue sky, and then when I go to the corporate, I'm in that Thornton Street thing. But it's all right, that. But it's a match I'm interested in. I'm not interested in getting a Christmas cracker that the same cracker company as the King uses, or, you know, a doily with the Rangers written on it, you know, and looking on at the park with the heaters on it, you know, all that. It's all right, but I'd rather see the Rangers beating teams, beating Dundee and beating, you know, I'd rather see the Rangers winning games as all that other stuff. The other stuff's nice, don't get me wrong, but it's not the main thing for me.
But is the trend being that we have to get revenue up to help us get a better team on the park, Jim?
I think the Americans will spend the cash to get success, and I think they'll get rid of the people as and when they need to, just like they've done. They made mistakes, but they never sat with the mistakes. The first chance, I mean, although in publicity-wise they'll say they're backing them, they're obviously going to say they're backing them. They can't turn around and say, I think you're right, he's a dumpling. You know, they're listening to the people, because you know that with what the manager done, the manager's got his suit on, he's got his green shoes on, he's got his tie on, you know, and now when they're saying what kind of players are you looking for, he's saying, well, I'm looking for people that know what it's to play for the Rangers. That's all coming out the fans, that's all coming out social media. That's the Americans that's telling them this is what to say, you know. If the results start to turn bad again, they'll turn round and tell them, stick a flute in their jacket pocket and walk round to the Union Bears and wave to them, you know, and bring your flute out. And that'll buy you a wee bit more time and all. You know, they're good at manipulating and manoeuvring because they're businessmen. But ultimately, they will get as results. They will see it. I mean, this is a weakness. Every time the thing has turned, there's been weaknesses, right going back to the days when Jock Stein crashed the motor with Tony Queen and the other guy in the motor coming up the M74 or A74 as it was then. And that changed it. And we started winning again then, you know. And then when that Lennon guy blew up in the COVID, we got a wee turn there again. You know, everything's happened. And now this guy's came here, and I see this as another opportunity here, you know. Because when you watch that guy, you know, and you see that guy, that McGregor, it's been there, I don't know, 12, 15 years or whatever. He's getting every medal under the sun. And this guy that's just arrived 10 minutes later is bringing out this wee plastic Ouija board thing and telling him this is what we do and this is what we don't do. You'll be saying, what are you talking about here, you know? It doesn't get done well, that. So that provides us with that opportunity. That opens that door. Hearts will collapse. Hearts will no last the pace, you know. So by the time we play it, if we go to Parkhead and get a result, which I think we can, then I think, and a couple of good signings, a good central defender or two good central defenders, and somebody that can score goals, then I think things will change quite quickly.
All right, we've also been joined by John. Evening, John. First time caller, I believe. Evening, mate.
Oh no, I've been on before. Evening,
Oh,
evening,
sorry,
lads.
John.
Is it too early to wish you a Merry Christmas?
No, we'll accept it. We accept anything.
Merry Christmas. Merry Christmas to everybody at the team.
Merry Christmas,
Yeah, well
mate.
said, John.
Aye, you don't get any of that nonsense for last night, by the way, with the boy that phoned in. I know people that work night shift. If you want to, what that boy didn't realise was it's a callback show, and if you wanted to pass his number on to somebody working night shift that could phone him and wish him a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year every 15 minutes for now to hug me, that'd be no problem. Right, but I've been listening to the show tonight. I've not got many nights off between now and Christmas. Most of them, none of them match nights, so I'll not get a chance to be on again. But I've been quite interested in all the chat tonight about upgrading the stadium and doing this and that to get the capacity up. Here's a wee take on it. I've got live stream the games on VR headsets. No VAR, that which we normally talk about in Scottish football. VR, virtual reality headsets, live stream the game on a headset.
Mm-hmm.
And you could have the best seat in the house. You could sit in the club deck, put your headset on, just hypothetically at 2:45. I know we don't get games at 3 o'clock, but at 2:45, put your headset on, the same way the kids do the nowadays with Call of Duty or whatever they're playing, and you could talk to your mates on the headset. The VAR camera, you're watching the game in a live stream, and even if you wanted better audio, like if you wanted a better atmosphere, they could give you the audio from the Union Bears, so you could have the singing in your ear if you wanted, or you could have that just as background noise. But they should be looking into that. Would you think of that?
Would that be able to move away from Old Bear?
Aye, well, you could move anybody. You could sit beside anybody you wanted. Just have their avatar. You know the way they do in modern technology.
What would be the downside of that, mate? That they'd go into the games?
No, but you still get people who go. I mean, they said that when they started streaming live games. Nobody will go to the game anymore. You still get people that want to go. But you could. The thing is, you could sell the same seat 5,000 times if you wanted, if enough people have the headsets. And a lot of people have VR headsets these days. They've just not incorporated it into watching live sports. But I'm sure the Americans could do that. It's not that advanced before they're the new, technology-wise.
Technologies, yeah. Old Bear.
Oh, don't ask me about technology. I know my luck. I'd get my headset and beam into late call. I'd get an hour and a half of late calls. It's an idea, isn't it, mate? It's another idea using technology. They're all good ideas. Just what we're actually going to get. One of the things I was thinking about as well. We talk about. I mean, I was talking about the Spurs and who's going and all this carry on. But nearly this with the harm for Arsenal, Spurs, Man U, Everton, and all the rest of them. If it wasn't for the TV money, let's be honest about it, mate. The Premiership's killed the football as a sport, mate. It's just killed it stone dead. There isn't any competition now. And all the other leagues, all the other leagues are living off the scraps of the Premier League. Let's be honest about that. I'm talking about player-wise. So you don't really see any quality, real quality. You see some decent players, but no real quality. They hoover all that in and with their money. So that's that finished. Basically, football as a sport is finished. But it's practically finished across Europe now with that Premier League. There's a couple of teams throughout Europe that are still get decent quality players, but no many now, mate. It's so when you're coming to talk about us, it's all right getting more revenue, as you were right, Doc, saying that it was to get better players, but you really can't get better players now. You can't afford to get them now anyway, no matter how much money you're bringing in off of gate money and things like that. It's the TV money's just killed it, mate. They're getting billions a season now, no millions, billions. So you've no chance of raising this kind of money to compete with in the market. And look what happened with our last transfers, or the draws that they brought up for that championship and beyond, and some of the Premier League players that are not getting a game. It's draws we're getting, and we're paying through our nose for the draws. So it's as far as I'm concerned, it's pie in the sky a lot of it. It's just a case of, are we going to get a wee bit better facilities? Probably. Are we going to spend billions of pounds to get it? Absolutely no chance, because there's no way you're going to recoup it. And as it's been pointed out, I think it's with John and Smith, they're businessmen. And Jimmy, they're businessmen, these people. And they're not spending money just for the sake of spending money. They're spending money to make money. And up in Scotland, that's practically impossible, mate. With the revenue streams of telly money and all the rest of it comes into the game, there is no money there, or of any note. There's millions coming in, but it's not enough. It's not anywhere near enough. So you're getting the quality of product, quality of stadiums that we can afford, and that's Scottish football, mate. It's a step up for junior football. Let's be honest about it, mate.
Well, I know, just when you were saying that, it just dawned on me there that with Scotland qualifying for the World Cup, the clowns that are running Scottish football, they'll probably get a pat in the back rather than their jotters, what they should be getting for running Scottish football into the ground. But they'll all get a pat in the back for Scotland qualifying. I can't mind their names, but they're watertight contracts that you need to pay them 2 years compensation. It costs millions to get rid of the guys that are running Scottish football.
We've made a few of them multi-millionaires, mate.
Aye.
They're doing absolutely nothing for the game.
Aye, I get your idea, mate. I get your idea. And maybe that'll come, mate, as things it'll come for one of the providers, mate, provided you'll be able to watch any game, and some of the crazy kick-off times will maybe disappear. But it's going to be interesting because the world's going to change with this AI and technology, Robert, isn't it? So what John's saying, isn't it that far away from reality?
Virtual reality.
No, it's not, because a few years ago you weren't even talking about VAR, you weren't talking about goal line technology. So they improved, or they're meant to improve the game. Depends who's on them, I suppose. But it's certainly something that you could probably sit in about 10 years' time and say, who knew this would be possible? With the kind of virtual reality things. I get your point as well, Ox. It maybe not just to be one specific game. If there's a provider that can say, well, here's all the matches at your disposal, you stick it on your head and you watch a game of your choice. But again, it all comes down to the TV packages, who supplies that, who's going to be the one that gives it out. So if it's a 3 o'clock game on a Saturday, it's a TV blackout, there's no games on at 3 o'clock on a live TV channel. So would it be Rangers TV that does it? Would it then be a Scottish football channel that gives it? These are all things that would need to be a lot of people coming to the table in discussion. But you wouldn't rule anything out, to be honest with you, the way technology's going and the way the world's going. So you never know. John might be onto some marketing expertise here and maybe stick a CV into Ibrox and put his points across.
Aye.
Ox, just going back to Jimmy's point, obviously on the park, we all want to see a winning, successful team. And at the end of the day, if that's happening, we're not really caring about the pies. And I know we're joking about better pie quality and things, but if a team's performing on the park and improvements are done, then of course you'll get bums on seats, you'll have a better experience and things. All these suggestions and options are going to take time. In an ideal world, they'll take longer than what it should take to build a successful team. So if you have things running parallel and you meet in the middle, you've got a successful team, you've got an improved and modernised Ibrox, it could all click. But again, it all comes down to that risk and reward, because you will have bumps along the way. It's just how you can recover and maintain it and sustain it for a period of time.
Jimmy, you want to come back in and we'll go back to Smurf? And you come, Jimmy?
Aye, what they're saying there about taking time and evolving, when I started going to see the Rangers, the capacity was 118,000. Very seldom was that in the park. Then it went down to 80,000, and very seldom was that in the park. And you're talking about some of the greatest football players the Rangers have ever had. And in my time following the Rangers, which has been, I don't know, 60 odd years now. I'm 69, I started going when I was 7 or 8 on a regular basis. I've only ever seen one period of sustained success at Ibrox throughout that whole period. There's been intermittent successes, but there's only been one period of complete domination and success. And I've seen another mob having, basically wiped the board with us. So when it's going to happen in parallel, it's not happened in parallel in my lifetime. And things have changed dramatically now, financially, in Scottish football, in terms of attendances and all the rest of it. It's only the revenue coming in for the telly and coming in for other sources that's where the money is. It's no in, selling dinners and selling pies and selling this and selling that. The big money comes through television and through media rights and all the rest of it.
European money, mate. Doesn't come domestically.
European games. That's it. Your other big one, But to get in, and it's harder now for Scottish clubs to get into European competition unless you're dominating Scottish football year in, year out. The levels and all that. Your level is probably top end that UEFA league thing that we were in the final a couple of times. And now it's probably maybe round about that conference thing, the thing that West Ham and Everton, who it was, I think it was West Ham that won it the other year there. That's probably round about where we're at, But certainly the rest of it, it's the players we get are players that will come with a story. Players at the end of their career that's maybe wanting to get a bit of success like Defoe. Defoe was the last sort of quality player I've seen at Ibrox. He was the last one that I would say he was a player. All the rest of them have came in hot and cold, and none of them have sustained any success or done anything in any sort of stages, But we get players that will come that are second-rate players or players that's got a tail. The lone one, the boy for Tottenham, probably the highest paid player at Ibrox now because of his money for Tottenham. He's got a great career in front of him as long as he can stay away from injury. But the players we've got, they've all got a tail, they're either injury prone, they've got attitude problems, or else they're at a level that's good, but it's not exceptional, And that's the way it'll be, because of the state of Scottish football. We're going to dominate Scottish football first and foremost, and then see where that takes us. And the crowds and all the rest of it.
Aye. Smurf?
Aye, I think ultimately, first and foremost, we've got to put a winning team in the pitch, and that'll never change. That's a never evolving universal truth. In terms of the stadium, it's fair to say that when we built the existing sort of Ibrox, the 3 new stands, the fans paid for that, football pools, etc., etc. I don't think that could be facilitated by the fans anymore, and I think it would need to be the investors themselves that stumped up that cash. I'm not so sure. They are businessmen and they'll want to run the club in a sort of hard-nosed fashion, but I don't think they're here to make money. The guys that are involved with the club have made more money than they could ever beyond their wildest dreams. They're multi-billionaires. I mean, we've got Andrew Kavanagh's obviously the chairman and the major shareholder, but they actually investigate it. He's actually not got as much money as Stuart Gibson, who's already at the club, on terms of what they're worth and shareholdings, etc. So I don't think it's going to be a thing where they're going to go to the fans to try and stump up money somehow through Rangers bond schemes or whatever, anything like that. That's those ships have long sailed. It's going to be something that they can afford and that they'll pay for. And I'm just, like I say, I just hope what they do it with a bit of class and do it once and do it right. How they go about that, I don't know. But a partial rebuild is probably what's required. Whether we get that or not, I don't know.
It'll be interesting to see what they come back with, but I think I'll go to John now, but I think the point that Jimmy's making there, I don't think we're agreeing. You've got a classic chicken and the egg scenario. But I think our egg is the team, or our chicken's the egg, or our chicken's the team, whatever way you want to go, John. But if you get the team right on the park, things will grow for there. Yeah?
Oh, definitely.
John?
I mean, it used to be that coming to Ibrox, signing for Rangers, you'd get a car and you'd get a couple of Savile Row suits and you were going up a class. But players' wages have escalated that much now. They give them a car and a couple of suits. It's nothing really. That's one of the things that's changed the way I see it. So you're not going to be able to attract people, half-decent players, just by offering them a car and a fancy suit, the way you used to, and flying them in a jet. The way Murray used to do, send the plane over to get these players, bring them over, and as if they're getting a taste of the high life. But they're already used to the high life. They're stinking rich, most of them. And a lot of them are getting stinking rich in the back of Rangers, like Matondo and Kieran Dowell and people you never see. There's plenty more of them that you could name.
Oh, mate, don't get Albert started in that, mate. You try to ruin his Christmas, Albert. You might have produced a list for his pocket, Albert.
Oh, I tell you, it's true, mate. It's multi-millions of pounds getting wasted on these players. They're producing nothing. Absolute zero for the cause. Waste of time. Complete and utter waste of time. Paid too much money for doing nothing. But that's the way it is in football now, isn't it? It just seems to be that way. As far as I'm concerned, if you're not playing, you're lucky to get 20% of your wages till you start playing, then you go back up to your full contract. But anyway, you could talk about that all day. End of the day, none of them are that rushed to get back for an injury. Quite happy to sit there and draw the money. But get back to what Spurs was saying, they're not in it to make money, or they're in it to make money, okay. But the way they're going to make their money is no on a day-to-day, month-to-month, year-to-year process. It's when they get you up and running, get the stadium the way they want it, make sure the revenue streams are you're clearing your feet and you're sustainable. Then they'll sell the club. That's where they'll make their money. They'll sell the club as a going concern, a profitable going concern. So they're no daft. So they're not going to spend all this money and not get any revenue stream back for it to pay it off. So you can do most teams that build stadiums and they enter the stadium take roughly 2 to 5 years to get back to winning ways. We're already 13 years into trying to get back to winning ways at the moment. We've not got any more time to waste in this. We've got to start winning and winning now. So at the end of the day, it's difficult. You know, as you say, chicken egg. You need the money to get better players. You need better players to win the league. But you can't get better players to win the league if you don't start winning the league first. It's mental, mate. It's a mental situation. But that's the situation we're in.
And signing players doesn't guarantee success. I mean,
As they've already proven it.
I'm interested to get Jimmy's point in the signings since the summer. Jimmy?
The signings that we've had, that guy, what is his name, Cernetti or whatever, I don't blame him at all. Like, you know, I mean, he's been a lucky boy. Like, you know, he's probably maybe sell a multi-millionaire out of his move, you know. And he's just went with the agents and went with that guy that's Telwell or whatever his name was. You know, so I don't blame him at all. You know, he's doing what anybody else would do if somebody says, I'll give you X amount of money to go there and put a jumper on it. Just see if you can score a goal now and again. He never helped himself when he did score that goal and he started holding his ears as if everybody was wrong and he was right, you know, and then he went on and never scored again since that. You know, the guy's ranked wrong, as is the majority of the signings. But we've been signing duds for years now. You know, as I say, we've not been signing good players. We get lucky now and again. That boy for Tottenham is a good player and they've stuck with him. And Connor Barron, I mean, I would play him, you know, I would keep playing him, you know, because I see him similar to Alec McDonald, Stuart McCall, you know, they kind of players, just box to box, be terror that never gives up, you know, and if I had good players running about him, it would be even better, you know. The fact is that some of these players are good, but they don't get to their full potential because they're better than the rest of them that's all running about them. The rest of them are just not there, you know. All the players in the past, they've all come into good teams, the ones that's been standouts and the ones that's been legends. You know, like say you talk about John Brown. John Brown was a bang average player, good player, but he went into a good team and his character and his strength and his commitment and all that mixed with the players running about him. And now he's a legend with the Rangers, you know, because of what he'd done, how he, you know, and the fact that he was a Blue Nose. So you don't need to be the best. You just need to be a good professional, and then the players that's running about you will bring out the best in you. But the way it is, you know, don't go to him. It's like Tavernier. Tavernier's, he's a hero to most of the young ones who think he's the greatest. No, he's just the best of a bad bunch, you know, and that's all he is. And he's consistent. He doesn't get injured. He scores quite a few goals. He's not a very good defender. He's in the Hall of Fame. He's this, he's that. But he's just been there at the wrong time. If it probably was a good team, they'd have been dropped and they've got somebody else. But he's only there because he's got nobody there. And that's it. We've just a lot of bang average football players. And no manager's been able to mould them into a team yet. Hopefully this guy, he's got a bit of enthusiasm going about him, and he's got a bit of running going about him. But to me, if Gio or that come on had the new owners, then I think we'd have got more just the same out of they two as managers, and probably better with the new owners in place. You know, it's a combination of the people that own the club and the manager or the head coach or whatever it is you want to call them. You know, the new owners now have got the money, whereas before they were all scrimping and scraping and holding meetings and talking shops and we'll say do this and we'll do that. They were all good blue noses and all the rest of it, but they never had that endless stream of money that was needed either to push it on and keep pushing until we get there. And I think the Americans will do that. I think they'll keep pushing and pushing until we do get there. But they'll not be doing it for the love of the club. They'll be doing it to build up the value of the asset. And once they get the asset, hey, this is a shining example of a grun. Look at this team. They're on the telly. They're competing in Europe. Look at all the cups we've won. Look at all the championships we've won. Look at the players. They're playing in international football. They're top of the scorers. They'll punt it and get rid of it and say, there you go, take somebody else on there. Or somebody else will come in there. Time will evolve and the things will change. The game will change. The European football will change. There might be a different league. We might be back into that, talking about some European league again. And we might get in there this time with the Americans for the television rights and all the rest of it. You know, these sort of things will happen and it will change. But they're not doing it. They're not doing it for the love of the Rangers or anything like that. They're completely not of everything. And that's how it's all right saying they're worth millions and billions and all the rest of it. That's why they're worth that. They never done it. They never started out as charity guys and saying, oh, we're just doing it for the good. They've seen the commercial opportunity. They go to the Rangers for a good price. They've seen the size of the support. They've seen the opportunity, and now they're going to maximise that opportunity one way or the other. They'll spend so much to get there. And once they get there, then they'll start dicking the place up. But they'll be dicking the place up to sell it. The same way as that guy when Holmes came and Lord said, look, we want to sell this. Holmes came in, pickied it up, smartened it up, done the business with the players, got the soonnesses in, and then got it to a stage, right, they'll get rid of it. And that's what happened. And then
Albert,
the money
when you
story was a different story.
Albert.
That's true, isn't it? It's not going to go on forever. It's one of these situations that it needs to improve. And if they can't get it to improve, they'll just dump it, mate. There's no doubt about that. But I don't see that happening. I see it improving. It slowly but surely will get better and better. At the moment, this what do you call them? This committee they've got to know, this improvement brigade. It's just a talking shop, mate. That's all that is. It's just a talking shop, is there money there to improve all this? Is there money to expand the ground? And if there is money to expand the ground, where's that money coming from? I don't know, mate. But it's good that they're talking about it, I suppose, because it shows that they've got interest in trying to do something. I hope that's what it is. I hope it's not just say these things. We'll have these meetings and just go round and round in circles. As Jimmy said earlier on, when Murray was there, it was all talk, and they stuck on the club deck, and that's about it. So I hope it's not just like that. If we truly want to do it, let's see some progress. But it's going to be big money, mate, to do it. It's not going to be a cheap one. Apart from the standing area, as I said right at the beginning, if they just change part of the stadium into standing area, that'll increase it by at least 5,000 to 10,000 right away. That's cheap, mate. That's just cheap.
Robert, then John.
Aye, of course, that, as Albert says, they're not going to be here forever. We understand and we appreciate that they're businessmen. They maybe didn't understand our club as much as we understand it as supporters and followed for all the years we have. But they'll make decisions that will benefit them as a business. But as long as it benefits us as a club, as supporters, and get back to being successful, as we all know. As I said, we've gone too long without success. We need to restore that. That's all we care about. It's our passion, first and foremost. Everything else, it is all talk. It's all speculation. You want to see the action. If they do make changes in there in the stadium, by all means, aye. But again, the main point for us supporters is seeing the product on the park. And if they've got the money to fix up a stadium or do changes, then they'll have the money to invest in the squad. But again, it's doing that rightly as well. We've seen the mistakes that can be made when it's not the right players brought in. So now we've got to go into this January window and the next windows ahead and recruit right and build there. And then everything else kind of off the park will take care of itself when the time comes. But it shows ambition. It shows a bit of excitement that they want to maybe look at everything else, not just the product on the park. But that's our main focus, of course, is that foundation on the pitch first and foremost.
Aye. Listen, if we were winning all our games, we were playing well, I doubt we would be talking about some of this tonight, if we're honest, John. Yeah?
No, I know. We'd be more interested in what's actually going on in the team, but well, some of it's pretty boring, I know, I can tell you. But bring back the enclosure. If you start a campaign, I'm all for that. And many a happy time in the enclosure. The 4-each game was an enclosure for that. The 3-2 Glacier Cup on the Friday night, I was in the enclosure for that, and many a great time in the enclosure. Bring that back, definitely.
There was only a few weeks between the two games, mate.
Aye. That was my youth.
Mm-hmm.
Aye, but I'd definitely go for bringing back the enclosure. But I think, see the way the likes of Kavanagh, I think he probably threw some money at it and thought he could just be a wee bit standoffish and things would take care of themselves. But, I mean, that's obviously turned out to be a bit of a disaster. So he's more hands-on now. I don't think they may get any more mistakes with, well, they'll try not to, but you can never tell with signings and whatnot. But I feel a wee bit better with him more hands-on, and you see a bit more of him. I don't think they'll let, because they're there to make money, as we've all been saying. So they'll go about things a bit more astutely in future, I think. Hopefully.
Yeah, the mistake was trusting people. We've all done that in life. Even Albert.
Aye, it's they've picked the wrong people, mate. It's a case of as somebody said earlier on, that they sorted the corrected the mistake. But if you've got to take the chance, don't you? I mean, they're no football people, and they took the chance and took some advice and put these people in place, and they let them down big time. Let's be honest about it. It was spectacular. And having watched the team now, some of the players are actually coming on to a game now. Even the ones that they've brought in. I mean, I thought Big Fernandes, for example, the other night had a decent game. So it might yet work out, and all the players might turn into be half decent players. It's a big ask. It's faith more than anything else with me. But no, it's. I'm looking forward to see what he's going to bring. I don't think he envisaged himself to be here as often. I thought he was going to do it for America and come out occasionally and see the team. But he seems to be here on a regular basis now. He was at the Kilmarnock game, for example. I don't think he envisaged himself to be at Kilmarnock at 8 o'clock on a Saturday night in the middle of December. We'll see what he does, mate. It's just all the players, isn't it? For us at the moment, for the support, pies and all that are all one thing, and expanding stadiums are one thing, but it's a team on the park. We all want a winning team on the park, and we want a brand of football that's really good to watch and wins most of their games. No, I mean that's all we want. That's just for, I suppose every team in the world are wanting the same things. They all want to win games, isn't it? We keep saying this. It's the Rangers way we win games, do we? We've been doing it for a long, long time, mate. On a regular basis anyway. We don't win things for a long, long time, not on a regular basis. So it's time to realisation to come in and say, look, we need to get the football side it right.
Jimmy, you're trusting a couple of people, Mr. Kavanagh. What's your take on it, mate?
I think the reason that he's obviously hands-on now is because of the money aspect of it. You know, that they've seen all the money that they've been spending and getting out, and they're getting very little in return. The publicity is terrible. And then I think there's a woman, what is it, Denise York, she runs the 49ers, or 40, whatever they're called, and I think that's where all your big money is. You know, and if you look at her, she's the owner, the lead owner of that, and the guy, what is it, Murter or something like that, he's the chairman of Leeds, so he can't be the chairman of the Rangers. But I think between them all and the money, they'll be looking at the money going out and saying, what's happening here? And that's why he's here. You know, they say, right, you plant yourself there and see what's going on there and get it sorted out. And that's what he's doing, which is what business people have to do. You can't talk all these guys like Felwells and that guy that came from Aberdeen, Stewart, he was about second or third choice, that guy Stewart. There was a guy interviewed for the job and nearly threw out of the job, and then he knocked it back. So these American people need to be asking them, why did you knock it back? They need to be asking Gio Van Bronckhorst what happened. They need to be asking Clement what happened. They need to be finding out all these answers, which they would get if they spoke to them. And then they would find out the truth of the matter, and then they'd be able to rectify it. And I see that as what they're doing. They're trying to get it right, and I believe that they'll all get it right. I've got every faith and belief in it. And when people talk about the heritage or protecting the heritage, the Rangers is completely different in every aspect, apart from the name Rangers, that when I first went to support them. Completely different. Different fan base, different team, different beliefs, different everything. There's nothing the same with it at all. A few of the hardcore, basically what they call dinosaurs, or what I'm called nowadays a dinosaur by my family, they still exist. But the majority of the folk are not like that at all. The majority of the folk, as I say, it's an event, it's an experience, it's this, it's that, you know. They don't all vote the same, they don't see things the same. You know, it's not as one, you know. Whereas it used to be as one, from the boardroom to the team to the person, all one, and that was it. Now it's all divided up. It's just like a cake, you know, when you get a whole cake, it's nice. Once you start cutting it up and dividing it all up, then it doesn't be as nice, you know. And that's the same with the support, the same with the club, same with everything. But it all changes through time. I honestly would like to see the Rangers winning things again, you know, because I'm always follow the Rangers, but it's not the same Rangers. But I've always been a Rangers supporter, and hopefully I'll die a Rangers supporter, you know. In fact, I believe I will. but I'd like to see them winning something. I'd like to see them being successful before I die. And that's what I want, you know. That's what we all want, regardless of what you think or whatever. You know, whether you want a nice stadium. And the stadium will improve as well. Because once you get success and once you get people attracted to it and all the rest of it, well, the council and all these people and that will be bringing good publicity to Glasgow. They'll be wanting all these visitors tramping through potholes or arriving and somebody famous breaking their ankle and all the rest of it. So things will evolve and things will improve naturally. And if the Rangers were winning and the Rangers were successful, would they be talking about expanding guns or pies and all that? That would be happening through natural events. The team gets better, the team starts winning, all the noise dies away, the confidence builds up, and everything else starts to fall into place. And that's it. That's what happens.
Cheers, Jimmy.
That's what will happen.
Cheers, mate. Listen, mate, always a pleasure to hear from you. You're
Right.
no one often enough for me, mate. I love listening to you, yeah?
Right, lads, you take care and God bless. Okay, cheerio. Good night.
Cheers, Jimmy.
Cheers.
Last word for your
Cheers,
good
Jimmy.
self, John.
Aye, well, thanks for taking my call. This European game, I don't know. I'm just hoping we don't get any injuries. The Hibs game, because we're not out this league yet. But see if we'd won those two last games we drew, we'd have been right in it. It's just consistency. We're just needing a bit of consistency. And from that point of view, I hope we get a good result on Thursday night. But definitely get stuck in about Hibs. And then we can see where we go. Because we're not out this yet. The league's still wide open. Wide open. So have a good night, lads. And I'll speak to you again.
Cheers, mate. Cheers,
Right,
mate.
thanks for taking my call.
Your mate for last night, I think he's ordered a few stuff, mate. I don't know how that's happened, mate. Yeah?
Yep.
Right.
Fantastic.
All right.
I like your style.
All right.
Good night.
Listen, last word. Robert.
Aye, great show, innit, mate? Good discussion, something different. Wee bit off kind of topic with the stuff on the park, but good to be with yourself and Albert. And obviously, focus now shifts to Thursday night, as John says, and a European fixture.
You're here. Albert.
Aye, good discussion tonight. I was interested to hear about that woman down in Leeds. It's not the 49ers she runs, it's the 69ers she runs. But anyway, apart from that, it was a good chat tonight. It's a good chat tonight. It's a good chat tonight, mate. Enjoyed it.
He's
Something
laughing
different
at
to
his own joke. He's laughing at his own joke, Robert.
I'm laughing at it. Look, I'm getting stared at. I mean, so it was good tonight on with Robert yourself and the background team. It was something different, mate. Something cheerful, a wee bit cheerful. I know too much cheerful, but a wee bit cheerful rather than the doom and gloom. Know what I mean? And bearing in mind, we win, and we closed the gap.
It developed because that story broke. That article broke, mate. Yeah.
Yep. Aye.
Yeah.
So it was
Anyway,
good.
We've been doing that rabbit hole, mate, as we do. Yeah.
Aye. There's no coming back for that rabbit hole at times.
I'll let you go, and you can go and explain to Mrs. Albert. Yeah.
Aye.
Just
Sorry,
said.
I've got my excuses. Ox, help me.
Right, listen. Thanks to Smurf for joining us, Jimmy and John. Great callers. Thanks for them three of them taking the time. Of course, thanks to Albert and Robert for doing the show. Fox and Old School Blue for doing the technicals in the background. This has been Rangers Radio. We'll be back tomorrow night between 8 and 10, talking about all things Rangers. Take it away, Old School Blue.